What if I told you that the most talked about, most feared, and most misunderstood event of our time was prophesied not in the last decade, not in the last century, but over 3,000 years ago? What if the blueprint for what many call the Great Reset was inscribed on ancient scrolls, hidden from public view, and written by a man who was said to have walked with God himself? We are not speaking of Nostradamus or the Book of Revelation. We are talking about a text so potent, so revealing, that it was deliberately excluded from the canonical Bible. A book that describes the very beginning of a great corruption on earth, a corruption so profound that it required a global cleansing. This is the story of the Book of Enoch, and its chillingly accurate prophecy of a global reset. But here's the secret, the truth that has been veiled for millennia: it's not what you think. What is coming is not merely an economic shift or a political restructuring. It is something far older, far deeper. It is a spiritual reckoning, a cosmic event that has been set in motion since the dawn of man. And understanding this ancient prophecy is the key to navigating the storm that is gathering on our horizon. Stay with me as we peel back the layers of time and uncover the truth that has been waiting in the shadows. The knowledge within the Book of Enoch is not just history, it is a roadmap for our future. It reveals that the first Great Reset already happened, and the second one is imminent. The author of this incredible text, Enoch, is one of history's most enigmatic figures. He was the seventh patriarch in the book of Genesis, the great-grandfather of Noah. The scriptures state something astonishing about him. Enoch walked faithfully with God. Then he was no more because God took him away. He didn't die. He was translated, taken into the heavens to witness the inner workings of creation, the laws of the universe, and the destiny of mankind. It is said that he spent 365 years on earth, and was then taken to the heavens to become the celestial scribe, Metatron. The book attributed to him is a collection of his divine revelations, a first-hand account of the celestial realms. For centuries, it was thought lost, known only through fragmented references in other ancient texts, including the New Testament's Epistle of Jude. Then, in 1773, the Scottish explorer James Bruce rediscovered 3 complete copies in Ethiopia, where the book had been preserved as part of the Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo Church's biblical canon. This discovery was an earthquake for biblical scholarship. Here was a text that profoundly influenced early Christian and Jewish thought, yet was cast aside during the great councils that formed the Bible we know today. Why? Because its contents were too shocking. It names the fallen angels, describes their sins in detail, and lays bare a cosmic war that predates most of our recorded history. It details a heavenly rebellion that spilled over onto earth, a deliberate act of cosmic treason that set humanity on a course of self-destruction. This ancient text doesn't just prophesy a reset, it describes the original event that made all future resets necessary. It begins not with man but with the angels. According to Enoch, 200 celestial beings, known as the Watchers, looked down from heaven and were consumed by lust for the daughters of men. Led by an angel named Samiaza, they descended upon Mount Hermon, binding themselves by a mutual oath to carry out their plan. This wasn't a random act, it was a premeditated conspiracy to defile and corrupt God's creation. They abandoned their heavenly station, their first estate of light and service, for earthly pleasure and power. This single act of rebellion was the genesis of all corruption. It was the moment the seeds of darkness were planted in the fertile soil of the human world. The Book of Enoch is explicit, listing the names of the leaders of this rebellion: Samiaza, Eurykibaramil, Akibil, Tamil, and Asadel among them. These weren't abstract forces of evil. They were powerful, sentient beings who made a conscious choice to betray their purpose. Their sin wasn't merely cohabiting with human women, it was what they taught them. If you find this journey into forgotten knowledge as fascinating as I do, take a moment to subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell. We are just scratching the surface and you won't want to miss what comes next. Comment below with the word Enoch, if you believe ancient texts hold keys to our present. The Watchers brought with them forbidden knowledge, secrets of heaven that humanity was not yet ready for. An angel named Azazel, for instance, taught men the art of war, how to forge swords, make shields, and craft armor. He introduced the concept of organized violence and bloodshed. He also taught women the art of deception, the use of cosmetics, dyes, and elaborate adornments to incite lust. Think about that. The book claims that makeup and weaponry, tools of vanity and violence, were not human inventions but forbidden teachings from a fallen realm. Another angel, named Semjaza, taught enchantments and root cuttings, the foundations of sorcery and the manipulation of nature's energies for personal gain. Barakijal taught astrology, the idea that one's destiny is written in the stars, separate from divine will. Kokabel taught the constellations and Serial taught the courses of the moon. Each piece of knowledge was a severance, a cutting of the cord that connected humanity to the divine source. They gave us technology without wisdom, power without restraint, knowledge without love. This was the first great reset. A reset of human consciousness, from one of innocence and divine connection to one of materialism, ego, and strife. The Watchers fundamentally altered humanity's trajectory. They hijacked our evolution. The unholy union between the Watchers and human women produced a monstrous offspring, the Nephilim. These were giants of immense size and strength, and their appetite was insatiable. Enoch describes them as devouring all of men's acquisitions. When humans could no longer sustain them, the giants turned upon humanity itself, consuming flesh and drinking blood. They introduced cannibalism and rampant violence, filling the earth with chaos and injustice. The very fabric of creation groaned under their weight. The spirits of the dead cried out, their pleas reaching the gates of heaven. The earth itself, personified as a celestial entity, laid accusation against its inhabitants before the throne of God. This wasn't just human sin, it was a cosmic imbalance. The mixing of celestial and terrestrial DNA had created a perversion of nature, an abomination that corrupted the planet's life force. The knowledge of the Watchers had led to a world obsessed with power, ruled by brute force and devoid of spirit. All life was suffering. This was the ultimate consequence of their gifts, a world so corrupt, so filled with violence and defilement, that it had to be washed clean. The great flood of Noah was not a punishment for humans eating an apple in a garden. It was a direct, necessary response to this angelic contamination and the monstrous, world-consuming system it had created. It was the first planetary reset, a complete wipe of the corrupted hard drive to save the system from total collapse. Now, let us fast forward thousands of years to our present moment. Listen to the language being used by global organizations. The Great Reset. Build Back Better. The Fourth Industrial Revolution. We are told that global crises like pandemics and climate change present a unique opportunity to restructure our entire world, our economies, our social contracts, our very biology. We are offered a future of unparalleled convenience and efficiency, powered by artificial intelligence, genetic engineering, and global surveillance. A world where human and machine merge, where digital identities determine our access to society, and where nature itself is commodified and controlled. Does this not sound familiar? Is this not a chilling echo of the forbidden knowledge offered by the Watchers? Azazel's gift of metallurgy and weaponry has evolved into autonomous drones and cyber warfare. Semjaza's enchantments have become sophisticated algorithms of social media that manipulate our emotions and behavior. Barakijal's astrology has become the data-driven prediction and control of entire populations. The Watchers offered humanity power and pleasure at the cost of their souls, severing their connection to the divine. The modern Great Reset offers comfort and security at the cost of our freedom and individuality, severing our connection to nature and to each other. It's the same agenda wrapped in a new technological skin. The ultimate goal is the same: to create a system of total control, to reshape humanity in a new image, an image devoid of divine spark. The transhumanist dream of merging with machines is the final, ultimate echo of the Nephilim, the unnatural merging of two separate realms to create a hybrid that belongs to neither. It is the Watcher's agenda reaching its final, terrifying conclusion. The promise of immortality through technology is the oldest lie in the book, the same lie whispered by the serpent in the Garden of Eden: you will be as gods. But here is the crucial point: the secret that turns this prophecy from a terrifying warning into a message of profound empowerment. The Book of Enoch does not end with the flood. It prophesies another final judgment and another final reset. But this time it is different. The prophecy states that in the final generation, the secrets of the heavens will be revealed to the righteous. The books of the lost knowledge will be opened. This is happening now. The rediscovery of texts like the Book of Enoch and the Nag Hammadi scriptures is not an accident. The global awakening of consciousness is not a coincidence. The coming Great Reset is not what its architects believe it is. They see it as the dawn of their new world order. But the prophecy of Enoch frames it as the beginning of their end. This period of immense pressure, control, and chaos is not the final victory of darkness. It is the catalyst for the ultimate awakening of light. The true Great Reset is not external, it is internal. It is not technological, it is spiritual. It is the collective awakening of humanity to its true divine nature. It is the remembering of who we are. The pressure cooker of global control is designed to force us to make a choice. Do we accept the path of the Watchers, the path of technological dependence, materialism, and spiritual slavery? Do we merge with the machine and forget the God within? Or do we choose the path of the Spirit, the path of inner sovereignty, natural law, and connection to Source? Do we build our inner temple while their outer towers of Babel crumble? Every attempt to tighten control, every new mandate, every fear-based narrative is an invitation to go deeper within ourselves. It is a spiritual test. Can you hold your light in the face of darkness? Can you maintain your compassion in a world that promotes division? Can you find your truth amidst a sea of deception? This is the great work of our time. This is the initiation. The prophecy says the righteous will be given wisdom. This wisdom is not complex data. It is the simple, profound truth of the heart. The knowledge that love is the ultimate power, that consciousness is eternal, and that we are all sovereign creators of our reality. The external world may appear to be descending into a technological tyranny, a perfect echo of Enoch's corrupted world before the flood. But this is only a shadow play, designed to distract us from the real event, the mass awakening of the human soul. Before we continue to the final, most empowering part of this revelation, I have to ask for your support. If this message resonates with you, please hit that subscribe button. It tells the platform that this knowledge is important and helps us reach more people who are waking up. Let's create a community of seekers right here. Now, how do we navigate this? The Book of Enoch offers a clear answer. Enoch walked with God. He maintained his connection to the divine source amidst a corrupt world. That is our task. To walk with God is not about religious dogma. It is about living from a state of heart-centered consciousness. It means cultivating inner peace when the world is in chaos. It means speaking your truth with courage and compassion. It means choosing love over fear in every moment with every choice. It means disconnecting from the systems of control, not just physically but energetically. Stop feeding the fear machine with your attention and emotional energy. Unplug from the mainstream narrative. Spend time in nature, for nature is the uncorrupted scripture of God. Reconnect with your body, your intuition, your inner guidance system. This is your divine compass, and it will never steer you wrong. The architects of the external reset believe they are building a prison for humanity. But the prophecy of Enoch suggests they are merely building the stage for the greatest spiritual liberation in human history. Their system requires our consent, our belief, and our energy. Without it, it is a hollow shell. They are the final gatekeepers, the last test before graduation. The Nephilim of old were physical giants. The Nephilim of today are giant, faceless corporations and systems of control, the giants of big tech, big pharma, and global finance. They seem all-powerful, but their foundation is built on the sand of our collective ignorance and fear. When we withdraw our energy and place it back into our own sovereignty, their world will starve and crumble. This is the true Great Reset. It's not something that happens to us, it is something that happens within us. It is a remembrance of our own divinity, our own power, our own light. The world is splitting. Two timelines are emerging. One is the path of Azazel and the Watchers, a future of technological enslavement, transhumanism, and spiritual death, sold as convenience and safety. The other is the path of Enoch, a future of awakened consciousness, spiritual sovereignty, and the creation of a new earth, built on the foundations of love, truth, and freedom. The choice of which timeline you experience is yours alone. It is made in every moment, with every thought you think and every action you take. The prophecy is not a fixed destiny but a divine warning and a sacred invitation. The flood is coming again, but this time it is not a flood of water, but a flood of consciousness. It will wash away the old world of corruption and control, and for those who have built their ark, the ark of inner knowing, of spiritual resilience, of a heart connected to Source, it will be the beginning of a new, more beautiful world. The Book of Enoch isn't a book of doom. It is a survival guide for the ascension of humanity. It was hidden for millennia, waiting for this very generation, for the moment when we would be ready to understand its true message. The darkness you see in the world is not a sign that evil is winning. It is the shadow cast by a light that is growing brighter than ever before. Do not fear the coming reset. You are the reset. We are the reset. It has been foretold. Now it is time to live it. Thank you for joining me on this profound journey. If you feel this message is important, please share this video with those you feel are ready to hear it. And subscribe for more deep dives into the knowledge that is our birthright. Remember the words of the ancients, for they speak to us now more clearly than ever. Walk in light and fear nothing, for you are far more powerful than you have ever been told.